Hello and welcome to another casual review. We're back on the all-new creaseless foldable, the Oppo Find N6. And today we're going to be taking a quick look at the features and functionalities that this device, as a foldable with a big screen, has to offer. Now, before we further get into this, let's just take a quick look at the screen right here. First of all, here's how creaseless it looks. One more time, if you haven't seen enough of it already. So here's what it looks like with the screen off. Can barely see anything, and when the screen is on, it's just almost completely non-existent. It does feel really good to use. Now, due to the matte nature of the inner screen, it's inevitably going to be a little bit of a fingerprint magnet, and I'm pretty sure some of you guys already noticed that in my previous video, and I've cleaned it already, but you'll probably see how soon it gets dirty again. Anyways, that's not what we're here for today. So first of all, once you go in settings, you got this section called foldable features. And in there, you got a few settings to adjust. So you get display size. And what this means is it's essentially the display ratio that you get to choose for all of your apps. So you get to pick, and then you get dual windows where you get to allow an app to be displayed in two windows on the main screen or prevent it from doing so. You don't get all of your apps here though, just so you know. And then there's app layout optimization. This section is quite limited. Some of your Chinese apps mostly are compatible with the screen to be displayed in a more optimized way. I haven't noticed anything real with this. Now you get your taskbar, and obviously this is what that is. You get to choose a taskbar style, so you get to keep it floating or fixed to bottom, and it's on floating for me. So this is what that means. It comes on for a few seconds once you need it to, and then it just goes away when you touch anywhere outside the area. And then there's some more options if you want to mess with that. And then there's screen switching, and what this means essentially is that when you're using the inner screen and you just fold your phone, so currently it's set to continue using, and this is what that means. It unlocks automatically so you can continue using your phone on the outer screen. Now you can disable that if you don't like it. And then there's another option or two under different sections actually, but they're related. So you get the split view, and with this enabled, once you swipe two fingers across the screen, this is what happens. So you get to pick a different app to jump into split view. And then if one of those apps needs more real estate for you to be able to use it, like settings right here. So once you tap it, it sort of does this. So it's not completely full screen, but it's not really split view anymore either. So once you're done using this, you can just tap the other side of it to get back to that other app that's open. And obviously this only has to do with apps that are strictly displayed in full screen. Now, speaking of the split view, once you tap this bar right here in the middle, you get to swap sides. So you get to do this, and then you get to do a top and bottom split instead. And then here's, hold on, there's something with that. It says Google Play Store window cannot be resized. Of course, you can enable that. You can force it to be resizable under developer options, but I'm not going to do that just here. But by default, this is what it's going to look like. So when you can tap this app and use it, and then tap that and use this instead. So it's not really a split view. I wouldn't call it that. Now, expectedly, the split view is not the only way to multitask on this foldable, right? So let me just get rid of this. Obviously, you get to do floating windows as well, and this is what that's going to look like. Now, the interesting thing about this is you get to open many of these. So you get to open another app, and you get to do that as well, and then you can get another one, do that again. So they keep stacking up like that. And what's even more interesting is that you get to resize them. So you can do this, and you don't have to stick to a specific ratio either. So you can do wide or vertical. But yeah, you can resize them, and then, hold on, let me just do that real quick. And then you can use them in the floating window mode, and all of them are active at the same time. That's really nice. So if you're scrolling, wow, this is really wobbly. That's because of the washing machine design I was talking about earlier. But I digress. So yeah, you can use all the apps at the same time. Come on, this is getting ridiculous. Yeah, they're all active. That's something nice. This is actual real multitasking. And then if you want to type in one of these apps, obviously you get your keyboard, and then you get to make it a floating keyboard as well. And then, yeah, you can move it around like this. You get to hold this bar to move it around. And then you can, of course, adjust your keyboard as well. And then once you switch to another app, the keyboard goes away expectedly. And needless to say, you can, of course, make it a full screen keyboard instead. And then you also get to minimize all these apps that are open at the same time. But there's, for some weird reason, once you start doing that, so I've got 3 right now and I'm going to minimize all of them. So this happens, but once you try to get them back, there's only the last 2 of them. It won't retain more than 2. I'm not sure why that is, but hold on, let me just get them all back. The third one was the app market. Let's just see if it's still open in the background or if it's been closed off completely. Yeah, it's still open, so that's at least something. So it's not like it's not being kept in the RAM. It's just that it won't keep it minimized for some reason. Now, of course, a bigger screen and a thin body like that is all about multitasking, right? So what you need is to be able to access whatever app that you need in the least amount of time possible. And to that end, apart from the floating taskbar, where you can, of course, access all of your apps here as well, so you're not stuck with these shortcuts, which you can, of course, adjust. But apart from this, you also get Oppo's sidebar thing. So, of course, you can adjust this as well. And this is yet another way to multitask. So you can just hold on to these, and then you can do this to enter split view. And hold on, I'm not really sure what happens if you just tap on them. Yeah, so it opens in floating mode. That's nice. I was worried it was going to be full screen, and then that would ruin the entire point. But yeah, you can, of course, do the same thing with this as well. So you get this as well, which is also useful. And then you also get your file dock area. So this is also a really useful feature from ColorOS or OxygenOS. They both have this. But yeah, this is an extremely quick way to access information that you need on a daily basis or even more frequently. And I'm pretty sure some of you guys will find this useful as well. So you can keep text or images in here. So for instance, suppose there's like a picture that you need to be sending to a lot of people on a daily basis, and you don't want to go looking for it in your gallery or even in a specific album. So this is even faster than that. You can just drag one of these onto the screen that you're on. So that can be like a WhatsApp chat or like a WeChat chat or Telegram or whatever. So yeah, once you let go, it gets sent to the person you're talking to. And to close all these floating apps, you can tap the triple dot up here. You can make it full screen, split view, minimize, close, or swap apps. I'm not sure what this is. Probably swap with the full screen one. So you can do that again. Hold on, let me just try that again. So if you tap swap, it gets swapped with that. And then yeah, if you want to close them, you can close them like this. So let me just do that real quick. And then here's what Chrome looks like on a bigger screen, if you haven't seen it on a tablet or something. So it's almost a full-on computer web browser, which is really nice to have. In the weird case you want to do this, so not sure why anybody would do this, but it exists if you're interested. So let me just put this aside. You can do this. So I get it. It kind of looks like a laptop with a full keyboard there, but honestly, I can't think of a use case for this. So it's going to be either laying on the outer screen while you're typing on it, which is obviously not safe, or it's going to be really wobbly on the camera bump, which is even more unsafe. So at any rate, this is what it looks like. So yeah, if you want to pretend you're typing on a laptop, this is, you get this as well. Let me get my stand back. Now I want to say I would have preferred it if there were no front camera here, so I could get an actual full screen. But once I actually tried a video call on the bigger screen, I don't want to think about that anymore because it's just so nice. You get to see the other person in full screen, and they're a lot bigger than on a phone. It's really fun. So I kind of appreciate the punch hole here, even though it looks sort of bad and weird, especially considering how it's not in the middle. It can't be in the middle, but I'm just talking aesthetics here. And then you also get stylus support, and that's really nice to have. But unfortunately, I don't have one to sort of try out all the features that are available for it. It's supposed to be really nice. There's been a lot of advertisement for it. It's supposed to offer a lot more features in terms of annotation and taking notes and scribbling on your screen. So it's supposed to make you even more productive on the screen if you're into that kind of thing. And that's about everything that you get that's different on a bigger screen. And once you're tired of all of that and just want to use it as a normal phone, you can of course close it and then start using the outer screen as a normal phone. And I appreciate, hold on, let me zoom out real quick. I appreciate how the ratio is not quite normal or like how you're used to it. So it's a lot wider than on a normal phone. But strangely, I've come to like that. Because if you need more space to do your thing, you can just open it up and do your thing and then just close it again. So this is good if you're just like kind of outside or like replying to a text or something or scrolling some social media. It's nice to have, and it's easier to type on it actually because your thumb can reach the entire keyboard. So it can't really be called compact because it's too wide for that, but it's okay for one-handed use, at least for typing in social media. And of course, you get another 20 megapixel front-facing camera if you're not in the mood for a big screen video call. All right, so that's it for this one. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already so that you don't miss out on a more detailed camera review of the Oppo Find N6 against its more camera-focused brother, the X9 Pro. All right, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.